All right, well, good evening. It has been a day.
It has been a day.
It has been a day.
We do not like school starting again.
Oh, school starting is tough.
Let's go back to summer.
Go back to, go back to summer. Although it's hot enough to be summer here.
Yeah, it feels like summer.
Feels like
Everybody
summer.
else in the East Coast hasn't started yet, so
Yeah.
we need more time.
Let us know if you are here with us tonight. We are going to be talking about some things and hopefully helping you with some ideas. And you don't even know what we're talking about because I didn't even tell you, so this should be kind of fun. But in any case, make sure you do visit our store. The link is in the description of this video. It's our fourth wall store. We're selling fishing rig holders. They look like this. They keep your fishing rigs all nice and neat. And also we are selling our popping corks. This is the classic one that we are selling in there. And then we are going to start, hopefully this week, selling what I'm calling the Texas Rattler Edition. And it's a little bit different, but I've already caught redfish on it and trout. So it's, I'm not going to shake it too loud because it does have a good sound to it. But this will be selling those in the store as well. So make sure you check those things out. Help support the channel, helps what we're doing. Oh, there it goes rattling around. And that's always much appreciated. I've been making them. Karen wants me to sell them.
Yeah, there's too many in the garage.
Too many. So come buy them. And but tonight, the reason why I figured things that we would talk about is I get a lot of questions about how do we get better at fishing? What are things that we can do to get better at fishing? What are some things that we can practice, or how do we do this? And so that's what this podcast is dedicated to, is really helping you get better at fishing. And I'm going to give you 5 things that I do that I have worked on and helped me as I try and get better. It's always something you want to improve on. It's always something you should continue to try, and so you just continue to do what you can to get better and better at what you do. So we're going to be doing 5 different things here to help you as you are learning to fish, getting better to fish. We all have things to learn, and so that's what we're going to talk about. So the first one that I'm going to give to you is do good trip prep. That's a big part of it. Is prepping your trip, knowing where you're going to go beforehand, knowing what the conditions. Just there's a lot that goes into the pre-trip planning, and I think a lot of times anglers don't take time to do that, and they get out on the water, they go to their usual spots, whatever, and they don't know what's going to happen when they get there because they just haven't done the preparation ahead of time. So I'm going to say the first thing is do good trip prep.
And you're really great about setting up several different types. You will have a popping cork if we're going to do live,
knowing your
and
rods,
you also
baits.
have set up some bottom rigs. You always have 2 or 3 different options so that you can just pull out what you need depending on, you know what, we're not catching anything over here. We're going to go over the jetties, and we already have these bottom rigs hooked up. So you bring like 6 rods, even though there's only 2 of us.
Yeah.
With 3 different ways of catching fish.
Yeah, so that's going to be the first thing that I'm going to just tell you is do good trip prep. And I'm going to show you a couple of things that I use when I'm prepping my trips. I'm going to show you this. The first thing I do is I go to the National Weather Service. I want to know the weather forecast. And I'm going out on a boat, so it's going to be a little different. But what you can do is you can go up here to forecast, and you can hit the marine button. And anywhere in the United States, anywhere where there's water on the coast, there's a marine forecast. And so you can click on, we're near Lake Charles, so we'll click on that, and then I'll come down here to Sabine Pass, which is what I want to see, and it'll give me all of the data that's on that. And so that really helps me in knowing what it's going to be like in the conditions, the wind speeds, just all the things that are a part of that. So that's one thing I think is really helpful, the marine forecast. And then when you get into it, it also will give you the projection. So like on this one, it tells you what the lake waters are predicted to be, what the wind is predicted to be, if there's showers or thunderstorms, that sort of thing. It contains all that information. So that's the first thing I do when I'm determining, am I going to go fishing this weekend? Am I not going to go fishing this weekend? That's one thing that I'm looking at right away. I'm going to that marine forecast. The second thing I do is there's another app called Windy, and I would definitely say check this out. You can get premium if you want, but you don't have to. And Windy, the nice thing about this is it actually gives you the wind for your area. So you can see this is the current wind, and you can fast forward on the little timeline to different areas. and to different days, and it'll tell you what the wind direction is and how fast it's going. And it has a lot of information here as well. Where you can rain, thunder, just all the different things that are part of that. And so you can get right into it and say, this is going to be the wind conditions. And wind does matter. It's gonna affect a lot of different things, wind speed and direction. And when you get to the wind speed and direction, it's also going to show you where you're going to want to target to fish. Because if the wind's coming from one direction, you may want to fish in one area. If it's coming from a different direction, you may want to fish in a completely different area. So all this is just the first step of trip prep. So I now know the marine ideas. I now have the wind and some weather information. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at tides. Now for tides, I use an app that I do pay for this one. This is Fishing Points. They're not sponsored by them, but they have a tidal forecast, and it tells me the tides. You can get this information on a lot of different apps. It's not just for this one. A lot of different apps have tidal information, but it'll tell you high tides, low tides, and that'll let me know when I want to go fishing based on that. And it also gives you a little bit of fish activity with your majors and your minors. It's like if I'm looking for Friday, there's my majors and my minors lined up there. So in late afternoon, there's a major, and then there's a minor in the middle of the morning, and then late at night. So it kind of will give you, and then there's Saturdays. So you can do that. There's just a couple of things that you do there to say this is some fishing trip prep. So now that I've gathered all that information, what I'm going to do with it is I'm going to determine, okay, where am I going to fish? Based upon the data that I have from the tides, from the wind, and from the marine forecast and clearing the weather. So all of that to really help me just get an idea of what I'm going to start. Because that's your basis line. That's where you start. So if you want to get better at fishing, that's where you're going to want to start. Start with your trip prep.
Makes sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. And I think it'll really help you. A lot of anglers, they get out there and they just don't have that piece done. And so they're really at the mercy of whatever the conditions are right then. But you don't want to be at the conditions' mercy. You want to actually set that. And you want to be able to say, this is the thing I'm doing to get maximum effort into maximum area. So that's one thing. Second, I'll give you the second one that I do. And again, this is something Karen was just talking about it. I practice tying knots and rigs. She comes into my little office here all the time, and I'm tying up rigs. I'm tying up and I'm making sure that I've got them going. That's why we even talk about the fishing rig holders, because those fishing rig holders help hold my pre-made rigs. I also use plastic bags for that as well. But practice tying those knots. I know three knots that I think everybody should know.
Loop knot.
Loop knot. I think you need to know a loop knot. Fisherman's knot, which I use or an improved cinch, that knot there.
And then the knot that would tie your leader line.
Yeah, leader to the braid. I think it's called an Alberto knot. But those are 3 knots that I use. I use those. That's pretty much the only knots I use. I know some people use FG knots, and there's some other ones that people use.
Yes, I don't know. If you don't do them that often, though, when you're out on the water and then you just can't remember how to tie that knot, there's nothing more frustrating. I do have a cheat. When I forget, I have my handy dandy knot tire right here. Just in purple today.
Just in purple.
But how do I do it? Wait, it goes through the loop, out of the, and if I can't remember, I have him, but you don't have him. So unless you can pull up, YouTube videos that we've made on knots.
We have another We Go Fishing on here?
Sure.
What is this? It says We Go Fishing. What's up, fellow Wegos? I only know the We Go knot. Okay, all right. Interesting.
I think I did see that channel a long time ago that was like not spaced the same way or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, welcome. Glad you're here. Glad you're part of the stream. We're talking about fishing trip prep, and then we're talking about practicing tying up your rigs and things when you're getting ready to go out there. So those are 2 things that we do to try and get better at fishing. It's 2 things that I think will be very helpful for you. If you're trying to learn how to fish, if you're trying to get better at it, learn to tie the knots. Matter of fact, I taught children this summer. And
like a little vacation Bible school.
Yeah, it was like a little vacation Bible school, and there was part of that was teaching kids to fish, and that's one thing I taught them was this is how you make the knots. This is how you do it, and so it was kind of interesting to watch the little fingers try and get it, but it does help you out if you know. There's nothing more frustrating than tying a bad knot and then watching it just pop. when a fish takes it. So get good at it. That's something I think will definitely help you as you're going fishing and getting out there. All right, number 3. Read fishing reports. Read fishing reports.
Or, get discouraged by reading fishing reports. Sometimes we decide, okay, winds look good, the tides look good,
yeah,
and we are free this weekend. We're not doing anything, nothing family related. So we're going to go fishing. And then we look at the fishing report and it says poor. And then I just want to cry.
Yeah.
But then, sometimes we do go anyway.
Before we get into that too much, the alternate WeGo.
Oh yeah, the other WeGo.
WeGo space fishing.
Yeah.
Sorry to share the name, but I believe we are the only WeGos. I don't know. It's one of those things. Like when I came up with the name, I was surprised nobody had it already. So, in any case, definitely need to learn some more knots. Yeah, it's something that I think is really helpful for all of us, just to continue to get those knots and get them better. The guys over at Saltstrong do a lot of testing on knots and things, and so it's good to know. It's good to know. It's just something I think that we can all definitely work on and get better on.
Yeah, but you were just talking about whether the last thing you're going to do is a fishing report.
Fishing reports, yeah. Read your fishing reports, and I'm going to give you now. This is for Texas, but every state has them, and you can get them in your state. Ours are from the Gulf Coast region. You can see this is the way that Texas does it. But like I said, this is Texas, but lots of states do. I think every state that I've been in does this, where they give you the rundown from different captains. Now these are not perfect. There's Facebook groups out there. There's Twitter groups out there. There's all kinds of different groups out there. But read your fishing reports, because that's going to tell you what people that are out there are actually. Are actually out there getting catches. And so you can see right now where we are, Sabine Lake, it says fair, it gives you the water temperature, and then it's telling you the lake is full of fresh water. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, we've been having a lot of trouble with fresh water.
But Bolivar is excellent. So just a little further down, and the jetties are full of fish.
Yeah, and reading this report can help you determine where you're going to go. Mm-hmm. A lot of different cases. He says, my last name is Wingo. So Wingo fishing morphed into WeGo. I can see what you did there. All right, yeah, that works. Last name Wingo, so it morphs into WeGo. Yeah, I can get that. That works. It's catchy. It works. But read your fishing reports, and it'll give you a lot of good information there about what's going on in different areas, depending on where you are. So we've been having here. This report's pretty accurate, because we've been having a lot of fresh water being released from the dams, and that's really caused a lot of issues. I know on the East Coast right now they're dealing with the hurricane going up there and just tearing up just the beaches and everything. So
that's why I do wonder, when we were out on the boat, we saw people going out the jetties and around into the Gulf to fish.
Yeah,
we did see them do that instead of fishing the inside where all that fresh water is. They went into the Gulf itself.
But you can learn that from the fishing reports, because they'll tell you what's going on. Like I said, there's some good groups out there. Depending on your area, you can definitely find Facebook groups and things out there as well. I'm not going to shout out any of those, but you can definitely. And he says that there's water a bunch of fresh water in the Gulf from Hurricane Debbie. Yeah. Hurricane Debbie did put a lot, and that's part of what we're dealing with in our area. Is the lakes to our north. We have Toledo Bend, and what's the other one? And Sam Rayburn, and they have been releasing tons of water down the rivers, and all that goes right into the lake. Yeah, I mean, we just need some good south winds and things to push in some salt water, and it'll even out eventually. But right now we're just dealing with that fresh water. But fishing reports are definitely gonna kind of help that out to know what's going on, and also they tell you what baits to use. So if you're using live baits and not using lures, it'll be able to help you with that too. It'll tell you what they're catching them on, sometimes the depth of what they're catching them on, and things like that. I said messed up fishing for a couple of weeks, but the water was cleaned up by this weekend. The fishing was really good. Oh, awesome. If you can, if you don't mind, let us know where you're at, where you're fishing. Are you in like Florida area, or like where are you fishing out of? I'd be curious to know that as well. Number 4. So we got so far. Let me put the steps back up here to help you. The first one, do good trip prep. Make sure you're prepping your trip pretty good. Also practice knots and rigs. The third one would be read the fishing reports. The fourth one, keep a fishing log. Yeah. This is where you start to nerd out, I think, a little bit. This is where you...
Fishing log. Huh?
Fishing log. Okay, he says Crystal River, Florida, Big Bend region. Awesome. Florida is an amazing fishery. You have a great opportunity there. I don't know if you have the big Chinook over there or things like that, but that's just an absolute awesome
about
fishing
Florida,
area.
You can hit both sides. You know?
Yeah, you can hit the Atlantic side and the Gulf side, depending. It's not too far of a drive for you, so yeah, that's awesome. That's a great fishing area, and that's why for some reason I had it in my mind. I don't know why I thought Florida, but in any case, Florida definitely good. All right, so keep your fishing log. Now I'm going to show you what I do, and I probably shouldn't be showing this information, but I'm going to show you a little bit anyway. Again, I use the Fishing Points app for this. Because what it's able to do, and if you can do this by paper too, I'm not going to give you all my spots, but here it logs my catches. So it tells me when I caught it, and it tells me what time of day, where the tide was. You see, I caught it right there at about 6. Well, Karen actually caught this about 6 o'clock, and there was actually on that incoming tide, which is not surprising. It gives you the data for it doesn't have any data for that, but it's going to have data for the air pressure and for everything like that, wind speeds, and then also the soil lunar. You don't need all that information, but I definitely would say keeping a log of your fishing really does help. It helps you know what times of year you were catching things. It helps you know the conditions, what you caught them on, just all kinds of things like that. Keeping a fishing log, I can go back in time and I can say, where were we catching fish last September? And what were we catching them on? And what time of day was best? And just all that information, the longer you fish, becomes so super valuable to you. So you can definitely do all of that. And he says I caught a 40-inch snook last summer. That's a pretty good one, but they do get bigger. Yeah, that's on my list of fish to catch. Over here in Texas, the snook do not get that big.
Like too big to keep, right? That's
I don't know.
like
I know they have a slot.
Yeah, that looks
I know they have
too
a
big.
slot. I don't know what their slot is over there, but that's definitely on my list of fish to catch. I've caught little one.
You've caught snooks before.
Yeah, I've caught them, but just not that big.
Just like 18 inches, 20 inches.
Yeah. They just don't get that big over here in Texas. Mm-hmm. And also tarpon. Our tarpon don't get as big, I don't think. I haven't seen ones as big as Florida. And he says that's over slot. Yeah, I thought so. I thought there was a slot for him. Although somebody told me once that if you catch a snook and you don't prepare it right, it tastes like soap.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kid you not. I don't know if it's true, but somebody said if you catch a snook and you don't prepare it right.
First of all, who's eating soap to know it tastes like soap?
I don't know.
How do you know what soap tastes like?
How do you know it's yeah? He says I saw you caught a monster red. Yeah, I caught my personal best redfish, and it was 42 inches, and it was quite the battle. Broke my reel.
Yeah.
Karen waited out to get it, so it was and we're right here in that Sabine Pass area. That's where we caught that one. Our tarpon are 150 to 175 pounds.
Oh yeah, they're not. That's bigger than ours.
Yeah, they don't get that.
Well,
I haven't seen them got that big.
We are going to go to Orlando next July.
Yeah.
So where would you recommend us chartering someone within a 2-hour drive?
There's a tarpon season too, isn't there?
I think July is. I think last time we
season.
went in April and it was too early. I'm pretty sure you can catch them in July. If so, ask this person. Like,
Yeah,
what time in July is best to go?
I'm gonna call you Wingo fishing.
Early July or late July, and also whether it's better to hit one of the charter someone either on Gulf side or whether we should go Atlantic side.
I think they did on Gulf side mostly. I do. I think that.
I think last time we went close to Clearwater.
Clearwater, yeah.
And I'm wondering if that's if that's
He says
another.
April is ideal.
Well, we went April, and they said it was too early last
in
time.
Sarasota.
They would not let us do tarpon in Clearwater. They said it was too early when we went in April.
Did they? Okay.
So maybe different. They said further up Florida, yes, but not where we were.
Well, maybe Sarasota's farther up.
Yeah, the captain said we can't go for tarpon at this. We have to wait till at least late June.
Longboat Island, he said. Okay, good information. Appreciate that very much. Thank you. Thank you for that information. That helps. All right. So going back to what we were talking about with the fish prep, we've got the do good trip prep. We've got the practice tying knots and rigs. We've got the read the fishing reports. We have the keep a fishing log, and the last one. Ready?
Oh, I thought
Number
we
5.
only 4.
No, we're doing 5. 5. Get out on the water.
Oh, that's not.
That is. That's important. I'm telling you, it's important to get out there on the water.
Of course, you have to be on the water.
Yeah, you got to get out there on the water because you can do all of this work in the behind the scenes, and then you never actually get out there to do anything. So you got to get out there on the water. There's nothing that will take the place of water time.
Practice.
There's fun. You just got, you got to get out there. Get out there. And you know what? If you don't catch fish, note that too. Why didn't I catch them here? Did they not like the bait? I mean, one of the things that I think even with lure fishing or with bait fishing, you want multiple kinds. So maybe that was the wrong time of year. Maybe it was the wrong different things. He says, call me Tanner. Okay, I will do. We'll call you Tanner. Thank you. By the way, I'm Ben, and this is Karen, in case we haven't said that before. But, you know, getting out there on the water, getting out there with different baits, getting out there with different, and you're going to have your things that you have your confidence in, but just getting out there and just enjoying it. You know, if everybody's afraid to get skunked. If you get skunked, so what? Learn from it. If you don't catch that day, figure out why I didn't catch that day. Did I not have enough trip prep? Maybe I didn't have the right baits. Maybe the conditions weren't right, whatever it be. But sometimes the failure actually teaches you more than the success. So get out there and get on the water and enjoy that. I think that's of vital importance. And so those are 5 things I think will help you. The Wegos tarpon fishing. Okay. All right, Christian. We'll come to Crystal River in April and we'll collaborate on a tarpon video. We might take you up on that. In any case, get out there, get on with that fish, and then just get out there and get some water time on you. So those are 5 things I think that'll help you if you're looking to get better at fishing. If you're learning to learn some more of the things of the trade, these are things that I do. These are things that I do every time, especially the trip prep and the knots and the reports and the logs. Those are things I just do every time before I get out there to do the fishing. So hopefully that helps you. If not, you can ignore all the advice and just do what you want, because that's fine too. But hopefully it does help you out a little bit. And we have one more thing that we're going to do tonight before we call it. Stanley Orchard, hey man. Hopefully you're doing well. You just made it. Yeah. You know our live streams are quick. They don't last too terribly long. This comes courtesy. You came in just in time for the courtesy of the premier fishing and hunting Discord server, where we get these questions from to try and help people out as much as we can. That's one of the things about our channel that we really want to do. It's one thing to show you the fishing. It's one thing to show you all the catches and all those sort of things. But one of the things we want to do is we want to teach people how to do it, how to get better at it, answer questions, even some of the recipes, just things like that. It's really about what we do. And so this question comes courtesy of the premier fishing and hunting Discord server, and the OP asked this, and his name is Adam Pate. And he says this: I recently moved to Texas.
Nice.
Yeah, we might know something about Texas. I wanted to get into saltwater fishing.
We know a little bit about that.
Yeah, so that's good. But no clue what I needed to know. But no clue what I need. I don't know all of what I want. So that's kind of a.
He doesn't know what to target other than sharks.
Other than sharks, and probably kingfish, which kingfish are whiting too. When we think of kingfish, if you're from the north, that they're whiting.
Oh.
So kingfish.
I'm like, well, he's going out to the rigs.
Now it could be he's talking about kingfish, like the
big ones,
Spanish mackerel type as well, but he may not be. I'm not sure. But he says, and probably kingfish, but I want to be able to target a variety of things. So what are good line weights and lures to use? So I'll help him out with this, and if you have some suggestions, if you're watching this, let us know what you think as well. But the first thing I'm going to say, good line weights. Now, if you're going for bigger fish, especially if you're going offshore, you're going to definitely want heavier line. For me, inshore fishing, I use 20-pound braid. Is what I use, and I use 20-pound fluorocarbon leader. That's what I use. Sometimes 30-pound.
For surf fishing, we go a little bit stronger.
Surf fishing, I go stronger. I got 60-pound on my surf rods. On the big surf rods, I got 60-pound braid.
I've used 30 or 40-pound braid though, and it's been fine.
Yeah, you can use, but if you're going for sharks, then you're going to need some steel leader. There are special things you need to do. I'm not a premier shark fisherman. That's not typically what I go after, so I don't really mess with that. But I do know you're going to need something
we've caught
heavier,
sharks,
dirty,
but they will sometimes cut your line if you have just regular line.
Right.
So, we have used steel leaders for things like mackerel or kings.
And kings also, they can cut your line pretty easily too. So if you're doing inshore fishing, 20-pound is pretty good with 20-pound. And then if I'm going offshore or if I'm in the surf, I definitely do use heavier line than that. Stanley Orchard says, generally speaking, I stick around 20-pound, maybe 30-pound braid to fluoro leader. I go slightly heavier leader for surf, longer leaders, same weight. Yeah, we're on the same page there, man. That's pretty close to what we do. I do have one rod that has the 60-pound on it.
And I think the other two only have 30.
I think they might only have 30.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think we bought 60, but maybe only.
Lures.
But that was mono 60.
It was mono 60.
The braid is 30.
Yeah, I do use a heavier shock leader. Yeah, that's true. And he says, I've never caught a king. I have caught one, but yeah.
I think like Corpus Christi has a concrete jetty out there, and that one is where we were catching mackerel and king the one time. Yeah. And that was a few summers back, but. Yeah.
When the green clear water comes out.
Yeah, but then the next summer we didn't. Yeah, so like it's not every summer that they're
Stanley says that's one big rod with 60-pound. Yeah. Just a little bit heavier to get out there. So that's the line weights that I would suggest using. For lures, I would definitely say get good with a silver spoon.
If you're fishing like the ocean, or if you're fishing jetties, they will
get good with a silver spoon. Silver spoons, they do work. Silver and gold spoons, they work. You see these guys. You can find the YouTube channels with them. Chunking big, and I actually have a couple of big 3-ounce.
We have a couple. We would catch large reds with those. They just, if you have the right shine. Yeah,
and so that's so get good with those. Paddle tails. Paddle tails work really well out there as well. We use the soft plastic paddle tails.
For inshore, that chartreuse mullet works really well from the
chartreuse gulp mullet.
When you say really good. Different species, he said he wants different ones. Well, the same chartreuse with the little tail, the mullet ones. So we caught right one after the other a flounder. Yeah. Large redfish. Mm-hmm. Blue catfish.
Yep.
One right after the other.
Same lure. So that's a very versatile lure, and then the paddle tails are very versatile as well. I don't use hard baits all that much. I know a lot of guys use hard baits. I don't use them, but another thing that's really effective for us is voodoo shrimp.
The voodoo shrimp.
The voodoo shrimp work really well.
Whatever each shrimp.
And they're pre-rigged, so you don't really have to even mess with that. So I would definitely say voodoo shrimp.
But if you want to catch all the species, you can
Tanner says, I do mostly inshore, but they are about 20 miles out the reef kings. I've seen them a couple of times out there. Yeah, kings. They are a lot of fun to catch.
If he wants a variety of stuff, he can just get live shrimp and he'll catch everything.
If you just want to catch fish, just get yourself some live shrimp. Live shrimp catches everything. Live shrimp catches everything. And actually, if you're out there early in the morning, a lot of guys use top water plugs and things as well. They do pretty good with those. If you're getting out there early in the morning when it's calm, the top water plugs, gotcha plugs, they work really well out there as well.
Some people use DOAs too. Those little shrimp you can tie
Sandy
on.
Orchard says, "Yep, I can sign off on voodoo shrimp." Yeah, they work.
Mm-hmm.
People kind of I've seen people give them all kinds of crap, and I don't know why, but because they work.
We use the ones that look like a shrimp.
Yeah.
So we're not using any special colors. We use the pink or the tan. I mean, it looks like a shrimp.
It looks like a shrimp, and they have sometimes they have a little chartreuse tail on them, just to kind of stand out a little bit. Tanner says that they were crushing around on top. Yeah, they do. They love to hit that top. That's why you just throw that silver, especially off the jetties here. You throw that silver spoon out there, you just crank it, and the Spanish and the Kings just slam.
I wonder what a tarpon would he hit a lure? We were just talking about tarpons. Would they only hit mullet?
My understanding is they like freeline mullet the most.
That's what I've heard, because that's the only time we almost caught one.
Yeah, was freeline
accidentally,
mullet.
Just free. Yeah.
Live shrimp is goated. It is. Yeah.
The day that we broke our rod holder, almost lost the rod, and you almost lost your back.
Yeah. Yeah. Live shrimp is where it's at. If you just want to catch a variety of fish, get yourself some live shrimp.
Yeah, that's what
and
I
just,
said. Yeah.
Yeah, just go out there,
have
yourself a good time. You're going to catch everything, and probably some things you don't want. But
you'll definitely catch things you don't want.
And Tanner says, I figure 8-ounce jig head with live shrimp, 30-pound leader. Yeah, there you go. Same thing.
8-ounce jig head. I've never used one that heavy.
If you're going to get down deep.
Wow.
I mean, it depends on how deep you're fishing. If you're going to go out if you're going offshore and you're fishing the reefs and things, you probably need something pretty heavy to get down there.
I've never used it.
Yeah, no. He says tarpon will hit a lure. But if it has any weight to it, they're really good about throwing them.
Yeah. That's what I was worried about.
When they come out of the water, they're crazy.
Yeah, is that, can you catch them? Well, I mean, can you get them to bite? Yes, but to me, I haven't had big success reeling it in without them throwing it, getting off, biting it, snapping it.
Yeah.
The frustration has been trying to bring in the tarpon without him destroying your line.
In honor of Mary, thanks for joining us on the live stream. Much appreciated. Hope you're having a great evening as well. We use very light jig heads inshore for us. We use, if I go over a 1/4 ounce.
That's what I'm like, we don't even use 1 ounce.
Yeah, I don't even use 1 ounce.
Like,
if I go over a 1/4 ounce. But then again, we're fishing fairly shallow water. The lighter
5 feet.
Yeah.
But then when we go out to the jetties, that's 50 foot down, isn't it?
No, we're fishing the trenches along the sides, maybe 12 foot at max.
Well, but the boats that come in the middle.
We don't fish out there, yeah. So, in any case, again, hopefully this will help the author here to know some good line weights to use, and some good lures to get you started on saltwater fishing. You don't have to really put in all that much effort to do that. It is pretty simple, but hopefully that'll help you get out there and do that. Like we were saying at the beginning of the podcast, make sure that you check out our store. We've got the popping corks for there. And actually, Stan the Ocher is here, so let me just give you a big shout out. He just did a awesome video with featuring these popping corks and on his trip, and that was much appreciated. An outstanding job. If you want to catch a guy who does some amazing videography and just really knows how to edit a video to keep you completely interested the whole time, he does an absolutely outstanding job of that. So check out his channel.
Didn't you tell
if
me
you don't.
he just uses his phone?
Yeah, he does this. I'm pretty sure it's only phone. That's what he does. And he just does an absolutely outstanding job, just superb job there. So check out his channel. Check out our store if you want some popping corks as well as the fish rig holders, things like that. We've got those for sale. We got a video out last week. We did push out a video for our boat, our new to us boat. So that's out there. And this week we have our first trip on our new boat going out, and we were experimenting, so we were kind of going out and looking to see what it could do and how fast it could go and just all that good stuff. So it's out there, and
we might have caught some stuff.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
And we were using live shrimp. Yeah, and so we did. We took out the live shrimp because we figured, hey, that's going to be the easiest thing to do. So that video should be coming out this week as well. So stay tuned for that. Stanley says, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for the kind words and the excellent popping corks. Thank you so much. And yeah, 100% on the phone. 100% on the phone. That's crazy.
But yeah, we actually haven't used anything else since he made these popping corks.
Yeah, no.
Because they work. I mean, I just haven't. And the thing about it is they don't get destroyed. They're not made of paper of any kind. And no matter how many times you put this in the water, it's not even painted. This is the color.
This is the color.
We buy the stuff to print them in. So you aren't going to have these go bad.
While you're here, this is the one I'm going to send out to you. This is the new style that I just came up with. I'm calling it the Texas Rattler Edition. And it's got a little bit more sound to it. But it's got, the uniqueness is it doesn't have the pole that normally goes in the traditional ones. This one has, this is 60-pound mono that's in it. And the beads are on the inside of it for the rattling. So I'm going to send that one out to you so you can have that one as well. But in any case,
it's very noisy.
Yeah, you're gonna blow their eardrums. Anyway, thank you all so much for coming by the channel, for hanging out with us tonight on this Monday night. Hopefully you have an incredible week, an awesome week. We're gonna start doing these. These are at 7 o'clock on Monday night, so hopefully we'll try and get that time just all settled in, and we'll be good to go. And he says, I keep saying it. They are weighted perfect at excellent action. You got me excited to try those rattlers. Yeah, I really like the Texas Rattler Edition. I've been enjoying that one, having fun with that. But anyway, thank you all. We're a little bit over the time that we normally go, but thank you all so much for being part of this live stream and the show. And until next time,
may the fish be with you.
Y'all have a good one.